Hey there folks, I'm Hasker bringing another audio commentary, and today we have a game between Una and th000. Looks like it might actually have been a ladder game. There's no observers, so I guess we'll stay on Una's point of view for now at least. And looks like we will be having this game on Turtle Rock, and they are cross spawns. One nice thing about Turtle Rock actually is regardless of where the spawns are, it's always a perfect mirror, so no matter so I mean, obviously, sometimes you spawn close to them, sometimes you spawn really far away from them, but there's never slight imbalances. Say on like you get on Twisted Meadows, where occasionally you'll be much closer to where they want to creep first, things like that. That doesn't happen at all in Turtle Rock. It's a really nice part of the design actually, and it looks like we will be having oh no, the Ancient of War is just now. Going to be built here. Obviously, in a very defensive position. Really nice to put it here. Obviously, th000 is playing human here, so if he had been close spawn and brought in some militia here, it would be possible to bring the creeps onto this Ancient of War. So it's quite smart just to hide it a bit. You don't usually need to hide it quite this much, but certainly that will keep it alive in the event of a close spawn, though we certainly don't have that this time around. And it looks like we will be seeing an Archmage first here for th000. He has really been liking the Mountain King first in really all his matchups, but just on Turtle Rock it's really hard to make use of that Mountain King well, and the Archmage does allow you to go for things like well, it allows you to go for Mountain King second. You can try a tower rush if you want with the Archmage. It's just more successful because you do have all those water elementals, and th000 actually only now scouting out for the close spawns, which is quite unusual considering how early we often see him scout out. Or maybe he's just going to put up a farm here. Maybe he's actually already scouted because he doesn't have that in militia form. Well, actually, I'm not sure. No, it doesn't look like he hadn't scouted anyways, but he seems to be quite confident there. And looks like we will now be seeing the creeping now start for Una, who's going to just pull these creeps away. And you can see he has actually been able to pull them really far back, which is really useful, and it means that they do spend a long time walking, but they will actually move a bit far away from this Ancient of War, which is the one downside. Meanwhile, Una has brought out the Warden first. Warden and Demon Hunter are actually both very good on this map. th000 now scouting out with his one footman, the creeping going on, maybe going to try and steal a kill, but actually accidentally taking a bit of damage there, and th000 going to be doing some creeping of his own right here, bringing in 5 militia by the looks of things. Good, and by bringing in more militia, you can actually do this with significantly fewer. You can do this with 3 quite easily, but the problem with that, with 3 or 4, is that it means that your militia will time out very quickly actually, and bearing in mind that th000 sent his first footman out to do a bit of harassment as well, and is actually being chased down by this Warden. But the problem with that is that these militia will time out too early, and this way you can see that the militia will actually get most of the way home before they time out, and so they won't lose as much mining time. Really useful thing. You can see th000 actually lost his first footman there, but the cost of a bit of mana on that Warden, and also a lot of time, in which time th000's going to be able to finish off this creeping by the looks of things. This Warden's still only level 1 and has gone for Shadow Strike first, which is obviously fantastic against the Archmage, but as soon as the Archmage gets level 2 like this, it becomes a lot trickier. If the Archmage then goes on to buy boots, that's another great thing you can do against the Warden harass, and we can see that the Warden actually being cut out a bit here. Gonna want to run away, actually getting the easy water elemental kill here. Probably a good use of mana. Yeah, I'd say it's a good use of mana. Obviously that water elemental is going to time out soon anyways, but this Warden has a lot of mana on her, and just generally, I mean, it's quite a good choice just to get all that mana. You really want your level 2 and actually level 3 particularly. Actually, this one footman or peasant kill is actually going to bring him very close to that level 2 that he really wants. But looks like these archers are actually getting a bit caught out, but fortunately they can hide. Dust now being bought now by th000, and so these archers will need to make a run for it. I'm not sure whether or not they'll be able to make it away. You know, th000 doing some very ambitious creeping here. Going to try and take out these 2 smaller turtles first, but it looks like this the Warden actually getting the first kill there. Obviously those smaller turtles take extra damage from the militia, and so it looks like th000's actually going to go for an expansion, which is such an aggressive thing to try and do on this map. Really tricky. Obviously it's very hard to defend your expansions because there's sort of 2 ways you can enter, and this Warden now at level 2 going to try and get another steal here, but th000's not going to allow this at all. Actually, one little footman being focused down there. Nice use of the Shadow Strike there, but this Warden's now out of mana, so th000 basically can get away with just killing this fairly simply, because this Warden would need to actually physically run up there or use a blink maybe, but then would be trapped. It actually doesn't have the mana for blink anyways, so yeah, the smart play there by th000, making sure that he got that final creep, getting him only 7 experience away from level 3. He'll really want to get that as soon as possible, and now putting up an arcane tower. Smart choice against that Warden, who's obviously so mana dependent, and we are now seeing tier 2 most of the way done for Una, not really, or not even started for th000, who's put up a lumber mill. Is also probably going to be seeing some guard towers as well, which are going to be very useful against these hunters, which are now coming in. And the town hall now started for th000. He's going to want to put up some more towers there. One goes there, We'll have to see how he wants to defend this. It's so tricky, as I say, because even with these two towers, you still leave this whole upper area exposed. You can have ancient protectors, you can have huntresses coming up there, you can have bears coming up there later on. It's really, really tricky to try and hold anything off. Whereas obviously this side's a bit better protected. You're gonna have a couple towers protecting, as well as it's a bit of more of a choke point. And if you come in from this way, actually, you can get straight back onto the shop if you need it. But that arcane tower finishing just in time. This warden now drained of all mana. It's gonna actually should be more willing to run in now because the arcane tower is much less of a threat. You have nothing really to lose at that point. Obviously, these huntresses are really, really good in this situation, but. It's just when you have the threat of lots and lots of water elementals, you can see th000 still hasn't got that 7 experience he needs, so all those creep steals from Una are actually really paying off now, because those level 2 water elementals are absolutely terrifying for huntresses, but level 1 you can basically tank it quite happily. And another footman being killed here by this warden who's getting close to level 3 herself, but still no level 3. It's so hard to pick off individual units when the units are things like huntresses and archers, which can just hide and run back, and the warden just causes all kinds of chaos. And you can see this warden has not regenerated any mana since, but it hasn't really taken a whole bunch of extra damage from losing mana either, and so it looks like this warden now going to probably want to run out, get some moon rolls, maybe buy a panda second. Panda would be the obvious choice, but certainly we could be seeing other things. And looks like, ooh, a Tree of Life going up here. Interesting placement there. Gonna be he can walk it in here, and very unlikely to be scheduled out by th000, who obviously has really good map awareness most of the time, and just would normally be much more able to find it than if it was placed there. And the level 3 finally hitting for th000, and this is a good time to get it, because obviously he knows that the army is just away, that the elf army is away, because he had that water elemental there, and also he knew that the warden needed to go back and heal and get more mana, and 2 inches of thorn now going up, nature's blessing as well actually, so that's going to be very useful for this expansion when you need to walk in, and it's going to happen a lot quicker. And plus it looks like since we're sticking at tier 2, we're going to be seeing a lot of dryads. Dryads are so good against the archmage. I mean, basically it's just like a massive hard counter. Nice denied there by th000 getting his 1 footman kill, but I mean, Dryad's just so good. Dispelling water elementals, can't be hit by Blizzard. Like, there's just nothing the Archmage can do against them, and it's a good time to hit. But I'm surprised you haven't seen a second here. I guess we're going to just be seeing solo warden. Meanwhile, this is the expansion being used to tech. So obviously th000 really needs to keep that alive, but at the same time it's going to give it a bit of extra health, going to make it a lot harder to attack, and that's going to be so useful because, as I say, that expansion is just so exposed to attacks. And we are now seeing the warden still not level 3, but has bought another clarity, though does have 200 mana on her already. The Archmage actually being a bit cut out here, no boot surprisingly, but looks like, ooh, the warden not going to try and chase him down, instead he's just going to turn around. I guess he does have the staff of teleportation if everything does go wrong for th000, but Una now in a alright position as long as he can make best use of his tech right now. If he leaves it for too long, then this expansion just could be cancelled, something like, or could be killed, depending on how well th000 is scouting at the moment. And we're gonna have to see if th000 was gonna realize something's up now, because he would have expected either some significant creeping, which is actually happening, or some attack on his base. And since the attack on his base isn't happening, th000's gonna think that there must be a very good reason why he isn't under attack, and so he's gonna know it's creeping. And it looks like he's gonna use staff interpretation to get out of here. You know, Una's actually, he used to get further back into this base. Very, very nice here. And Una's doing the creeping in the meantime. Nice choice there by him. And the actual water elemental being dispelled as well. That's so useful. This warden now hitting level 3, getting a nice Phantom Knives off there. Obviously Phantom Knives really good against footmen, but it isn't too good against those later units, unless you get a really high level of it. But I'm not sure actually if we've seen, that's level 2 Phantom Knives, that's actually doing a lot of damage to those footmen, and this Archmage is going to be forced to use a TP to get home. Meanwhile, this creeping is now done for Una. Really nice play here for Una, and actually, Rope of the Magi +6, nice item there for that warden, who's now hit level 4 as well. And we do have actually one though Dryad here, which is going to be a real pain for Una, because it's so hard to heal off Dryads without just wasting a whole bunch of mana, or moon juice on regenerating mana. And at castle, immediate tech here for th000, interesting, as well as bringing out some militia. Maybe gonna go for a very quick third. That's really ambitious here of th000, because he's just gonna be so stretched out. But I guess he knows that that Una's going to be a bit slower as well now that he's starting his expansion, or looks like he's starting building a lot of wisps here. He's going to be setting up that expansion for a while. He needs to defend it, because obviously expansions are pretty vulnerable, especially to when the Entangled Gold Mine is building, and against the Archmage with the staff teleportation, you can just get in there, bring in a water elemental, and then use the staff to get out of there very, very quickly. And that water elemental does a whole lot of damage to building units, or to building, to constructing buildings. So it's very important to keep your hero and a bit of an army nearby, at least just to chase that away as soon as possible. And this Archmage now hitting level 4 and it's picking up Scourge Bone Champs, which isn't going to be too useful. We'll probably see th000 sell it unless he wants to go for like a knight heavy army or something. But I don't think that's what we're going to be seeing. 2 Arcane Sanctums now going up. Will we be seeing a workshop? Interestingly, no workshop at this point, which is obviously the mortar teams are just so useful, especially once they get their splash upgrade. They become really scary. You know, Una doing some nice creeping, almost hit level 5 now, and th000 just going to do a tiny bit of creeping. He wants to be hitting level 5 himself, but it's still a fair bit away. But because he only has these 4 from left, because he lost so many to that massive, those massive fan of knives, he's just a bit restricted into what he can creep. And we're going to see, does Una want to do some creeping? Actually, this is a smart choice here. It's very likely that th000 would actually be creeping out this camp here, but actually he isn't, and so Una not mentioning a creep jack here. But it looks like he is coming here, and th000 unfortunately not going to be setting up his expansion quite yet, and so he's building a lot of towers, so he's going to lose all 5 of these peasants, probably, unless Una decides to turn around and try and kill these towers earlier. But it looks like he's going to at least chase these down. Very nice, level 5 now on that warden, and th000 now actually going to have to rebuild a lot of peasants as well, because obviously you can't buy a shredder, and you need lots and lots of lumber to sustain these tier 3 strategies. And the Mount King now out, being given the boots, which is a good choice. Those claws should actually probably be transferred to the Archmage, and Archmage now buying another TP as well. Obviously went a long time without one, but was so close to his base that there wasn't really much point in buying one, and it looks like th000 finally hitting tier 3 now. We'll probably see a Paladin third, knowing th000 at least. That's just such a strong triple hero combination to get. And this warden just patrolling around, trying to find the Archmage to pick off, but now that the Mount King's around, it's going to become a lot harder, and actually the Mount King might be the target of choice here, but that would be quite odd, because it just, ooh, look at that, the bolt goes off on that warden, and the Panda actually coming in now for Una. The Phantom Knives going off for this warden, needs to make a run for it. Looks like he will just manage to get away, and the slow army here by th000 going to lose at least one. Oh no, that Foreman stays alive because of a nice bounce there from Defend, and you can see it actually poisoned the Dryad, which is really like a very nice thing to have, especially when you've been going for Foreman for so long. We saw Defend being used to great effect through this whole time. I didn't really mention it, but I mean, Defend really a good way to make, or to get a whole bunch of effectiveness from units that would otherwise be pretty ineffective. We can see Una now losing his huntresses intentionally. This is just to free up some food, basically, because you don't really want huntresses in your late game army when you want to be getting a big army, but you want to be sticking under 50 food. And I wonder if we do see a blacksmith is up, but still no workshop. This is very peculiar. We are now seeing these towers are being upgraded again. We saw there was a huntress in there to try and take them out, or take them out earlier, and looks like yet again this huntress is going to be killed off, and now the tanking should really be done with the Panda, or maybe the bear, but probably the Panda is the better choice here. You know, we are seeing this warden straight back into these towers, going to try and do a bit more harassment, but looks like being chased away. Obviously the threat of arcane towers is quite great, because 380 mana on this warden, you don't want to be losing sort of 50 or 60 of that, because that's become basically almost a whole Shadow Strike just lost to pretty much carelessness. As Archmage now using an arcane, or now using a clarity potion, could have that cancelled, but looks like the warden more intent on hiding, seeing what's going on, and we are now seeing the first couple of casters out for th000 very late on, and actually he's kept this, I'm surprised he kept the Scourge Bone Charge, picking up Pendant of Energy, which is really nice, and I think the Panda actually has some good mana items. It would be nice to steal the mana from the Mount King just before he can use too much of it, but at the same time Wonder Man is still not too great an item ever, really, in this. I'm interested that this bear is being kept so far back. He does have enough for rejuvenation, but he couldn't then use bear form, so maybe he's just going to be kept in, actually, Wonder Mana stealing being left here by th000, that's a bit or by Una, that's a bit careless, and th000 does have enough space on his Archmage to pick it up, and does actually have this Paladin as well, so he's going to do a bit of a nice push here. Una's really going to be caught out of position, and then this one bear going to be focused down by towers, a bit inevitable, and you need to keep your Dryads away though, because Dryads take so much damage from towers, and these bears and heroes are actually really good at focusing down towers, but that's why it's good to get up a couple arcane towers, because obviously arcane towers do a